guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be testing and reviewing this foundation from Revlon. So I will do a wear test as well. If you want to see how it performs on my face, that it's oily, just keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, as you can see, already done my eyes. In case you're wondering, I did use this eyeshadow palette from Beauty Bay. I've done a video separately, and basically I'm testing this eyeshadow palette. So if you want to see my opinion about this eyeshadow palette and also how I created this makeup look, you can check my video that is down below in the description box. Okay, so going back to the foundation, this is how it looks like. So it's called Revlon Colorstay Full Cover Foundation. I haven't seen this before. I think I saw it on a website because I had no idea that actually they have another foundation. Apparently this was launched like a year ago or 2 years ago. I can't really remember. So I thought it's new, but apparently not. So this should be like a more full coverage version than their normal Colorstay. They're like the original one they have. It has 30ml. It looks quite small. So I don't know if it's like, it says it's 30ml, so it's like a standard foundation size. And it should be a matte finish, so it says in here. So full coverage, matte finish, and mine is in the shade 175 natural ochre, and should be 24 hours lasting. I don't know if this is cruelty free or vegan. I need to check, to be honest, because it doesn't say here. It's just you have the ingredients in the back. And by the way, it has an SPF of 10 as well. So yeah, hopefully the shade will actually match me. I'm gonna prime my face as well, because this is a matte foundation. I'm gonna use a matte hydrating primer, and this is from Essence hydrating primer. Has coconut water and hyaluronic acid. So whenever I'm using a mattifying foundation, I have to use a hydrating primer, because if not, my face will look like really weird and cakey. So now that I'm primed, I'm gonna do like a real foundation test, because usually I used to use just my sponge, but now I'm gonna do like half with a brush and half with the sponge, because people prefer to use a brush as well. I'm not really a brush fan, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna use a brush as well. So I think on this side I'm gonna use the brush, on this side I'm gonna use the sponge. Okay, so let's see. By the way, this came sealed, but I took it off because I am curious as usual. And this has quite a thick consistency, as you can see. I'm not gonna add much. I'm gonna leave it how it is at the moment to see how much it's gonna cover with the brush. So it's quite thick. So let's see. And the shade is a bit dark, because I bought this online. It's so misleading, because it's not like buying it from the store when you can actually see. Yeah, it's a bit darker, this shade for me, as you can see in here. But I think for summertime it should be alright. I'll try to make it work with the concealer to lighten it up. So I'm gonna add another, a bit more like this, because barely covered anything. So I'm just gonna do this half with the brush, and then I will see how it actually behaves with the sponge. Because so far I don't really like it how it looks like with the brush. I don't know if because the brush sucks a lot of product. As I said, I'm not really a fan of brushes. I think a more liquidy foundation will be alright for the brush, and it's gonna wipe out my brows. See, that's why I don't like a brush, because I like to do my eyes first and my brows, and with this I don't really have precision, and it's tricky. It has tricks. And I've added two of these, and most of the products went into the brush. But anyway, I'll see how it goes with the sponge. So I'm gonna do the same quantity. So first I'm just gonna add this much. Probably this is like a pump or something. So let's see how we'll behave with the sponge. I think with the sponge is much better. It didn't soak up that much, and I've just added half of the amount, and it's already a better coverage. Yeah, so in here it's like a sheer coverage. Here is already medium, and I've just added half of the amount, as I said, and haven't used all of it. I mean, I still have in here, but I can go on my forehead. And it does feel quite thick on the skin, by the way. I'm really curious if this is gonna dry down, because the other one, after a few minutes when you apply it, it sets and it dries down on your skin. So at the moment I have medium coverage, sorry, not full. Already half of the amount I've used with the brush, and I'm gonna add another layer with this because I want to see if it's gonna look cakey or not. So like another pump. Really thick, by the way, guys, really thick. But yeah, it's definitely buildable, and it does looks a bit heavy on the skin, to be honest. It doesn't look like skin-like, because I did try, for example, the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. That one is really lightweight, and you can achieve a full coverage from that. But this one, it does feel a bit heavy. I mean, that one you can actually build it up. You know, guys, I'm gonna go on the other side with the sponge as well, because I don't like the finish of this. It's really streaky, and the coverage is not even medium. So I'm just gonna go all over to actually smooth this out and even out. I'm curious after a while, because I'm gonna do a wear test as well. I'm curious how it's gonna actually look on my face. Now that I blend everything in, by the way, it is not a matte finish, it's like a satin matte actually, because it has a bit of a dewiness, but it doesn't feel like oily. With the sponge, it did soak up beautifully in the skin and doesn't have any streaks like with the brush. And as I said, if the brush works for you, it's absolutely fine, but it doesn't work for me. I don't know, because I don't know how to bloody use it. It's just I don't really like a brush, probably with a more liquidy type of foundation, but not with a thick foundation like this. I always prefer a sponge, and this one, by the way, is from e.l.f. and it's a life-changing. I mean, since I actually discovered this one, because I used to use the Real Technique ones, and I had to change that every 2 months, because eventually they will just like remain like without a shape, doesn't remain fluffy and bouncy. This one is so easy to clean, and because I'm using also soda bicarbonate on it, I use on that one as well, but that one is like, it's more dense. I have this this sponge, I'm not kidding, for about 5 months, and it's the same shape. It didn't rip off, because the other one is ripping off really quickly. I don't know why. So it still has the same shape, still really bouncy and pretty much the same. It doesn't have a flaw, nothing. I mean, it's intact, it's like brand new. And I'm surprised, and I think this is less than the Real Technique ones. I mean, come on. Highly recommend this one. It's absolutely brilliant. So as you can see, I mean, this is how it actually looks like. I quite like it. From the beginning, apologize. At the beginning when I applied it, it felt heavy, but now actually I barely feel it on the skin, so it actually blend in really quickly. And I don't know, because of the sponge did the job, or I don't know, it did something really nicely on the skin, and I like how it is. Doesn't seems to crease anywhere or cake. it did, yeah, it looks quite nice, to be honest. I'm impressed. As I said at the beginning, it looked a bit weird, but now it looks fine. So now I'm just gonna go and finish the rest of my face. You know the drill, and I'll come back with the finished look and also my final thoughts about this foundation. Okay, so I'm back. This is the finished look. I think overall this foundation performs really well. I mean, on close-up, doesn't look bad at all. I did set it up with a setting powder because I cannot add a foundation without setting. Even if it's mattifying, I need to set it with powder because I don't know, I'm used to it and I don't like it if I don't. It's gonna cake, it's gonna rub off anyway. So as I said, you can see close up, it looks really nice. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't seem to sit in any of my lines. Yeah, I actually enjoy it. Don't forget, guys, that I've used a hydrating primer because for me this is what works better. If I use a mattifying primer with mattifying foundation, it's gonna be a disaster. So probably the primer helped as well to be, you know, like smooth, and it doesn't, by the way, it doesn't seem to transfer. It still feels a bit sticky, but I think it's because of the setting spray that I've used. So I set it with the powder, as I said, but doesn't seem to transfer, which is good. Probably this will be alright under a mask as well, because we still have to wear a mask, so we need something to trust. So at the moment, as I said, I'm quite impressed with the coverage. It is high coverage. It's not extremely high coverage, but it's between medium and high coverage. I don't know how to explain it. Probably if you're gonna build more, it's gonna look like quite cakey, but yeah, it definitely has good coverage. And for the thick that it is, so the formula is extremely thick, I expect it to look worse or horrible on my face, but it did blend out nicely and sunk into my skin. It looks a bit, it doesn't look like skin, of course, because it's high coverage foundation, but as I said, it doesn't look as heavy on the skin as I expected after I've tested how thick is actually on the hand. I'm gonna wear this as much as I can, as long as I can. At the moment is 1:15, so 15 past 1 in the afternoon. I can't show you guys because I'm filming with the phone. So I'm gonna wear this till later on to see how it actually lasts. I don't have a lot of stuff to do, to be honest. Today I'm not gonna wear a mask, I'm not going out, I'm just gonna be around the house and cleaning the house looking like this. But yeah, it's quite hot outside, and again, I'm interested to see how it's gonna resist in the heat. In this room at the moment it's quite hot. I can't use a fan because I'm filming, but yeah, I'm really curious if this is gonna be alright on the heat. If it's gonna smudge, if it's gonna, I don't know, because now it's summer now, finally in UK, and it's quite hot outside. So yeah, I will come back later to update you, and actually you can see all this for yourself how it actually looks on my face. Okay guys, so I'm back. It's currently 9:25, so I think I have this foundation about 8 hours on my face, so it's not bad. I think it looks pretty much the same. Just around my nose in here it cracked and it rubbed off a bit from my nose. I don't know if you can see the cracks. In here is a bit more visible, but everything else it's still the same. I mean, I'm quite impressed now that it mixed with my oils. It quite looks alright and hydrating, doesn't look oily or anything on my forehead or anywhere else. It looks pretty the same. I'm impressed. Around my mouth it rubbed off because I ate, and as I said, around my nose and from my tip of the nose actually rubbed off a bit. But that's it. I mean, I'm really impressed of the longevity as well. The other one, the original one that I used all the time as well, had no problem, stayed on 10 hours with no issues. Today I didn't wear a mask, so I was just in the house, around the house, outside, and I can see it's alright with the sweating as well. I mean, I'm not oily almost at all, and it still doesn't transfer, just a bit is transferring, but not a big deal. So I think it performed quite well, and I will definitely wear this more often, even at work. But I think this foundation will actually be alright. I'm sorry for the noise, guys. My cat is going nuts here. So yeah, I think this is a good foundation. I mean, regarding shade range, they don't have so many. I think they have just 15 or something. Regarding the shades, I will just check and I will attach it on my screen to see exactly how many shades they have, but I don't think they have so many. But yeah, probably in store, when we are actually allowed to use testers, I can choose my shade better. So yeah, overall, I actually like it. Let me know if you actually tried this foundation yourself, if performed this well on your face as well, or I don't know, my skin type is oily, but I've noticed if I use like harsh, not chemicals, but if I don't hydrate properly, my oils will come through more easily. But if I hydrate enough and I like use like a proper hydrating cream, like a more heavy hydrating cream, and also a primer, then my skin will look more nicely, and also my foundation will stay on longer and will look flawless. So yeah, I have I don't know, a weird skin. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this every week. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Bye.